Do you feel any differently going into this season, David, than in the past few?
Yeah, every year is different. The start, the excitement, the jitters. But yeah, we're all very excited to get this thing going.
Hey, David, this is the first time the whole team is practicing. Everybody's healthy. Beginning of the Dallas week and all. Was it frustrating during the course of training camp not to have everybody out there? I mean, is it
Frustrating.
all well that ends well?
Frustrating, no. I don't think it was frustrating. I think it gave people the opportunity to compete. And yeah, we got to just, play the cards that we're dealt with.
Do you feel this team is in the best place it could be right now at the start of the season?
I like to think so, yeah.
What's the next step for you, David?
I guess we'll find out.
Deshaun's about to go in the media room now too, just so y'all know.
Well, I mean, what has changed the last couple of years as you've really taken over?
I'd say just the maturity. I guess, more so not me trying to be great, but helping my teammates be great as well. So, yeah.
I think when we talked to you originally, you were talking about Ken Dorsey's offense, how electric this could be. So what kind of things will we see differently?
I can't tell, man. You got to have to watch the game and find out.
Will it be dramatically different?
We'll see, man. I don't even know. It all depends on what we call on game day, So, like I said, I'm excited, just like you, and we're all going to find out soon.
But those of us who were at Greenbrier probably saw a little bit of everything.
A little glimpse.
Is that where everything was installed, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
And introduced. Mm-hmm. It's just that you didn't show it in the game.
Correct.
Do you feel everybody could pick up what you were doing?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I feel like it's not just one-dimensional, so you're going to expect a lot of things.
What impact do you think the relationship you developed with Mike Vrabel and a lot of that one-on-one coaching that he has given you will have on you, not just for this season, but just in your career?
Maybe a bit more physical. His physicality is second to none. He's a very hands-on coach, so it was awesome working with him throughout summer, and we just got to take it up to this season.
Is that unique for you to see a former coach
for sure.
who's a player like
as hands-on?
Yeah, get in and be hands-on?
He's not afraid, but
he
should be afraid sometimes. But he's not afraid.
Where'd you get that cool hat?
I had it for a while, man. I just wore it today. Like it? Thanks. That's it.
Thank you.
How does it feel to finally be here week one in game prep? And obviously we talked to you last week about the concussion, to be past that and have this first game finally be here.
Oh, yeah, I'm excited. Excited as week one, ready to get to it, get to the game, and try to find a way to get that first win of the season.
What makes Dak such a good quarterback?
Yeah, he's a special quarterback, able to stretch the ball down the field, accurate quarterback on the move. Got targets that he's able to get the ball to, and they help make a play out there. So, talented quarterback, and he's going to bring a challenge that I think we're up for.
What makes CeeDee Lamb just such a weapon for them? I know they like to move him around. Just what challenge does that present for you and the rest of the secondary?
Yeah, he's a receiver that can play in the slot or play outside. So, like you said, they move him around a lot. Great hands, good route runner, and we know the ball's going to be going to him. Dak's going to get him the ball, so it gets targeted a lot out there. But, yeah, he's a great receiver, though.
Is this a matchup where you would almost want to travel with him? I don't know if that's what they'll have you do, but is that something you would want to do?
Yeah, I'm always excited to go against the number one guys on other teams. So, I'm looking forward to that matchup and ready for the game.
What's Cook's add to to that receiving core? What specifically? Does he give to that receiving core that maybe they don't have with just CeeDee?
Yeah, he's definitely a faster guy, able to stretch the field. Like I said, Dak's able to stretch the ball down the field. He's one of the guys that can run up underneath it and go get it. So we definitely got to keep an eye out for him as well.
The whole team is now able to practice for like the first time since this Greenbrier.
Right.
Fans were frustrated not to see their guys playing, to read about them practicing.
Right.
Was it a frustrating training camp in that regard for the team?
No, not necessarily, but I mean, we all together now. So the season started. You go see us all out there, and we're definitely excited to all be back together, and looking forward to everyone being out there come week one.
Is the hunger more Denzel than it was last year after coming off the season you guys have?
Yeah, I mean, we still got a lot to prove out here. But, I mean, we just narrowing our focus, though. So we focus on week 1 and trying to find a way to get a win. Yeah, thank you, guys.
Thanks.
Finally here. It seems like it's been a long time coming, this first game, doesn't it?
Yeah, we wait for the great things. The great things take a while to get here, but we are here. We are present. We are active. So it's good to be here.
Jeremiah, you guys have a gauntlet of quarterbacks that you're going to face this year. The first one is Dak Prescott. Just your thoughts on him and what you expect from him on Sunday.
Well, we expect what he's been doing, right? Number one, I believe in completion rate. He's a guy that knows is one of the best quarterbacks against the blitz. He's a guy that has a great IQ, can move his feet. Does well with check downs, communicates well as an anchor for their offense, and he's been a great quarterback for them, and we're looking to see that great quarterback. So,
When you just look at the atmosphere around the opener, it's the Cowboys. Tom Brady's going to be there. It's really the only show in town at the time you guys are there. Is that kind of exciting to think about? You get to open your season.
yeah, of course. Don't let nobody get up here and tell you, they're not. Oh, it's just another game. It's a game that we hold and cherish because it's the next game, right? So a lot of the times, when things are going on, we try to focus on what's present, try to focus on the game plan, focus on how we can be closer as a team as we're going into this game. But of course, we hear the noise. But our task is to block out the noise. Of course, we know who's going to be there. We know all of these things. But again, the mission and the objective is to block those things out while, again, focusing on the game plan that's at hand.
When did you start watching film on the Cowboys?
Say again?
When did you start watching film on
Well, the offseason, actually. Yeah, the offseason. I mean, we have film from last year. We already knew that it was our first game, so at least for me and my teammates and the linebackers, we tried to get bits and pieces on the offseason.
Without Tony Pollard and Zeke being at the stage of his career, have the Cowboys become one-dimensional offensively?
Has the Cowboys become one-dimensional?
Offensively, without much of a running game being a factor?
Well, I actually think that they, do well and balance out the run and the pass from a standpoint of, setting up the pass by running or setting up the pass or setting up the run by passing. So I think that they have a pretty balanced offense.
Jeremiah, Kevin was talking about with CeeDee Lamb how they use him in so many different ways and put him in motion all the time. What have you guys seen from him on film, and what makes him so unique as a receiver?
He's a shifty guy. He can get to point A to point Z real quick. He's a guy, of course, he just got paid. So you see the value that they have, especially, when you're in that contract stage, they evaluate everything. So if you're getting that type of money, you are a player that they not only think that can lead them to winning games, but also to winning a championship ultimately. So he's a great competitor too. So
Jeremiah, I know you talked about you guys hear the noise, but your job's to block it out, right? And the expectations for you guys from fans are pretty positive.
Yes.
But just internally, what do you feel as a team are your expectations for this season?
Well, our expectations for the season is to focus on now. I know we kind of everybody thinks the expectations and they think of maybe something that's 2 months from now or 6 months, whatever it may be. But our expectations reset every day. Okay, how can I be the best player? How can I be the first one in, last one out? How can I do those things that help me be a better teammate? Focus more on the game plan that's at hand. So our expectations is to focus on every day and to focus on the now ultimately. So
This might be a better question next week because you go on the road this week, but it's about the difference between the defense at home last year and on the road. Was there a lot of conversation with Schwartz about that during the build-up to this preseason?
Yeah, we see it, right? There's obviously some things that we need to work on in transitioning, whether it's being Royal Warriors or whether it's defending our home, and we focus on those mistakes and we do our best to correct them. So you'll see some shifts this year.
I know when Jim talked to us, he kind of alluded to maybe not wanting you guys to get caught looking back too much at last year, but guys have also talked about obviously last year the way things ended being a motivation for this defense. So what's the balance with finding that motivation but doing the things you're doing and staying focused on the next game?
Yeah, well, it's not about not looking back to the past at all. It's about looking back to the past in reference to a critique, an evaluation, an audit. We want to see the things that we can do better to move forward versus maybe getting stuck on the past on things that may have been something to cherish or, it's number one this, That's not what we want to do. But what we do want to do is to look in the past for mistakes to see how we can better ourselves moving into the future.
Last year, you spent the offseason trying to get stronger, to stay on the field. Mission accomplished last year. What was the mission this year for you?
Well, same thing. I mean, it really doesn't really change. I think in the NFL, once you find something that works for you, you talk to a lot of the vets, Jordan Hicks, Rod, they always say, okay, if you find a plan, if you find something that works for you, continue to do it. And that was really the mission this offseason, was to focus on the smaller details, the connective tissues, some of the minor ways that I work out, not doing too much weight, but also not doing too less. Just finding the balance with the off season, but also spending time with family, also traveling, gaining some wisdom, et cetera, et cetera. So,
Jim, man, a lot of guys have great years in their contract years. Yours wasn't really long, but it was sort of like that. So how do you keep that hunger to play as well as you did last year, or even better?
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing that I just spoke on. When you find a recipe that works for the cake, you continue to bake it the same way. Have it, of course, a vegan cake, but you continue to bake it the same way and follow the same metrics in which you did before. So beautiful.